Fortress was a very popular game, very interesting game, but let's create it in Warhammer Cities of Sigmar. I'm kidding, of course. It's not really the pixelated strategy game that Dwarf Fortress is, but it is a Dwarf Fortress. So let's get straight into the list. I'm your host, Greyhammer, and welcome to the channel. If you do enjoy this type of content, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, and comment below what you think about this list, especially with it being a very heavily Dwarven-focused list. So let's get right into it. If my slides will go forward. Yeah, just kind of using Ironbreakers and this Runelord. Unfortunately, it seems like the models might be moving to the old world. Hoping that we don't lose them in the next battle tome, but I'm using current rules, so hopefully that doesn't change. This is the list, really simple. A Runelord, and 3 units of 20 Ironbreakers for a total of 970 points. These Ironbreakers are very tough, so don't let this list fool you. It is only 1,000 points as well, and for 61 models, it's pretty good. And let me just tell you, you get a lot of staying power with here. So what are some officer's orders you can use? Advance in formation, of course. You can move the 3 inches. It's not as interesting. You probably won't use that as much, but your dwarves are slow, so maybe first round of combat you can get them moved up a little bit. This is the one that you're going to do the most, is the hold the line, because it buffs your Dwarven as well. You pick a friendly unit wholly within 12 inches of the hero, and the target gets strike last, but also gets a 5-up ward. In addition, if the target is a Dwarven, subtract 1 from hit rolls for combat attacks that target the unit. So you're going to be -1 to hit, and you're going to be a ward of 5-up. But we'll actually figure it out that there's ways that you buff that. So ward of 5-up-ish, and a strike last, but -1 to hit as well. So the strike last is a little tough, but just be careful how you use it. You do get to use it in the combat phase. In the charge phase, you could do strike them down, which you can add 1 to their attacks characteristic. Not as useful. And I think, yeah, your unit has to have charged. So it's unlikely, because you're probably going to be the one holding objectives, is the idea, but maybe you do charge into combat, and you can use this one to just give your guys a little bit more punching power, because they're lacking in that. Your kind of passive you're going to take is the Bulwark Zone. Friendly Cities of Sigmar units that have the fortified position ability start in a fortified, they don't, but in the first battle round as well, you subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks that target friendly Cities of Sigmar units while they're wholly within friendly territory. You're unlikely to get out of friendly territory in the first battle round, so that can defend you from kind of alpha strike list or really heavy shooting armies to give your guys a little bit more staying power in that first battle round. These are the spell lore, the prayer lore. Unfortunately, one of the spells or prayers doesn't really affect it. I don't remember what it was, but you're never going to use it. You got an answer value 4 for Wrath and Ruin, and you pick a visible enemy unit within 18 and make a chanting roll of d6. You will then roll 6 dice, and if it's an 8+ roll, chanting roll, if the chanting roll was an 8-up, roll 9 dice instead. For each 5-up, inflict 1 mortal damage on the target. If 3 or more damage points are allocated to the target as a result of those dice rolls, ignore positive modifiers to save rolls until the start of your next turn. So that can be useful in making the enemy significantly less durable. But the next one is probably the one you're going to use the most, is the Oath and Steel. It has an answer value of 5. You can pick a Cities of Sigmar unit wholly within 12. You get to add 1 to your chanting roll if they are Dwarven. You then subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks that target that unit until the start of your next turn. In addition, if the chanting roll is a 10-up, you get to add 1 to save rolls for the target until the start of your next turn. So this is you probably use the Wrath and Ruin in the first battle round if you can, and then Oath and Steel in all the other battle rounds. Because adding +1 to save and subtract 1 from wound rolls could be very, very nice. Grizzled Veteran is the command trait. If the unmodified wound roll for an attack that targets this unit is a 1 to 3, the attack fails and the attack sequence ends. Just make your Runelord a little bit more durable. And the Sacred Tome. If it's not a priest, it has priest 1. If it's already a priest, you can add 1 to the chanting rolls for this unit. And if it's a wizard, it cannot use spell abilities, but it's not a wizard. So you're going to get +1 to your chanting rolls. So on this one, you're going to get +2, which is pretty nice. Can mean you can get that 10 easier, or just that 5 is pretty hard to get in one turn. So make it a little bit easier for you to get it on a 3-up instead of a 4-up. So let's talk about the Runelord's special abilities. So he's got 5 health, 4-inch move, 3-up save, control 2. So not a great melee character. I mean, high save and decent health, but really slow. And 3 attacks, 4s and 3s, rend 1, d3 damage. The can unbind as if he has Wizard 1, which is kind of useful if you're going against a magic heavy list. And Forge Fire is an answer value of 5. You pick a friendly suited Sigmar Dwarven unit wholly within 12, and make a chanting roll of d6. Till the start of your next turn, you get to add 1 to the rend characteristic of their melee weapons. In addition, if the chanting roll was a 10-up, you pick another friendly Cities of Sigmar Dwarven unit wholly within 12, add 1 to the rend of their melee weapons as well. So you could. This is actually a really good spell. Not necessarily for the Ironbreakers. If I was doing a Hammers list, I think this would be good. So if we expand this list, I might do Hammers, but they just got a points change. This list was going to have Hammers, but they did in fact do a points change where Runelord and Hammers got more expensive. So Ironbreakers, this is the backbone of your list. They have 1 health apiece, 4-inch move, 3-up save, control 1. So yeah, they're not going to, besides their save, they don't have too much durability. The leader gets Drakefire Pistols, which is 1 attack, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, rend 1, 1 damage, can shoot in combat. It's not going to do much, but it might do an extra damage every couple turns, so... They have 2 attacks apiece, hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, no rend, 1 damage. And then their main ability that's really going to make them durable is while it's affected by the Hold the Line Officer's ability, they get a ward of 4-up instead of 5-up. So 3-up save, 4-up ward with -1 to wound, and -1 to hit from... Yeah, so -1 to wound, -1 to hit. Could be very strong. Yeah, it's this gives them -1 to wound you. So someone who has a 3-up, even a high rend, that 3-up goes to a 4-up, 4-up, which it becomes a lot more shakier. That rend can maybe chew through that 3-up save, but then you've got that 4-up ward right behind it. So it makes these guys significantly more durable and makes them pretty strong. They're also just a cool looking miniature. They hold up really well. I have a unit of 10 painted, and I really like them. So let's kind of get into the tactics. Your Runelord's going to grant those support bonuses and deal mortal damage. Almost assuredly, you're going to be using the prayer that gives them +1. It gives them the -1 to wound and gives them... I forgot it already. And can give them add 1 to save rolls. Sorry if you've noticed I've cut a lot. Allergies are really bad this morning. So the Runelord can kind of soften people up with those prayers at first, and then give a lot of support bonuses. Your Ironbreakers are going to act as a really powerful anvil. Unfortunately, this list doesn't really have a hammer that can utilize it as well, so the anvil kind of has to do its own damage, which is not historically how it's done, but you can still hold down objectives and hope to just grind down enemies. Anything that can cancel ward saves is going to be tough, though. They can be one of the most durable infantry in the game, however. Giving them that -1 to wound in the first battle round allows you to withstand those deep strike armies and frees up your Runelord to do other prayers. So you could, depending on how you think you could do the mortal damage, or you could go and ahead with the increase the rend on your guys' hammers. Because they do not have rend. That is one of the weaknesses of the Ironbreakers. So if you're going up against another heavily armored opponent, then they're going to kind of struggle to just get through that armor. That's why you need hammers. And so when we bring this list to 2,000 points, they're definitely going to be included in that list. Go ahead and let me know what you think about this video and this list. I think it's pretty interesting, and I really like the dwarves. I wanted to do a Dark Elf list with the Dark Elf Corsairs, but then they got nerfed to oblivion, so I don't know. We'll maybe look into some more. We'll do a combined arms list for both the dwarves and Dark Elves, and because we already got one for humans, so there's a few more lists I want to try around at 1,000 points, and then we'll go to 2,000 points and see what we can really make shine. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about this. Go ahead and like this video if you did enjoy it. And go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more like it, more Warhammer content. I've got some plans for new content coming out that will be really interesting. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.